Day 74 of 365 days of meditation. I'm really struggling to record this video. There's a lot of things, nothing seems to be very coherent that I'm trying to verbalize at the moment. So I'm going to try again. Today's meditation was good. It was about an hour long sitting meditation, put the headphones in, relaxing music, and I just sort of sat there and let happen. Whatever was going to happen, happen. And it's kind of been my practice lately. Just letting my mind go wherever. Ask the questions that need to get asked. It's like, I don't know how to describe it other than unscripted. There is really no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing or the order I'm doing it in. I mean, it's likely that because I've meditated in more regimented ways in the past, that a lot of those practices are sort of just bleeding in automatically now. But yeah, I'm just kind of sitting down, closing my eyes, and letting it take me wherever it's going to take me. And that's fine. I'm along for the journey. So, maybe that in of itself is a win from a mental health perspective. Somebody who's been lived a large portion of their life with OCD and anxiety and depression, sort of having a death grip on life constantly has not served me in the past. So maybe just sort of letting go and doing it in meditation is a good practice ground. So that's what I've been doing. That's today's practice. I had a good practice. It was, like I said, just over an hour, and there was a few difficult places I found myself in, but for the most part, it was enjoyable. A lot of gratitude, tears of joy, some tears of sadness too. But I have been noticing lately that, I shouldn't say I've been noticing lately. I noticed today that lately it seems my meditation, like where my mind goes, it's spending more time thinking about desirable future experiences, desirable experiences that I would like to have in the future rather than negative experiences that I've had in the past. So my mind is more sort of future oriented in a positive state and less past oriented in a negative state, which seems to be pretty good. For somebody who's experienced a lot of depression, anxiety, even obsessive compulsive disorder, the default state was always sort of ruminating about the past or obsessing about a imagined negative future outcome or undesirable future outcome. So to be thinking about the future in a positive way, to not be dwelling on the past or not catastrophizing into the future, is pretty remarkable. And actually, I think what triggered me to even sort of notice that was I was listening to a podcast today, Andrew Huberman. I'll link to it. It was an episode where he interviewed Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin is a very famous producer. He's produced music for albums for people like Slayer to the Beastie Boys to Jay-Z, Tom Petty, Adele, you name it. He's done it. Johnny Cash. He's worked in all genres, all different types of musicians. And yeah, he's sort of world renowned for his creativity. And the general theme of the episode was about creativity. And in it, what sort of got me thinking about where I'm focusing my attention was Rick Rubin mentioned that he spends all of his time either in the present moment or thinking about the future. And generally when he's thinking about the future, it's in a positive manner. So I was thinking about that, and that's probably what triggered me noticing how I was spending my time in meditation today. But from a creativity perspective, it actually makes a lot of sense that you would either be in a flow state working on your creative endeavor in that moment, or you would be visualizing how you would like to improve upon or how you would like your creative project to turn out. So sort of a desired future outcome. So yeah, it really makes a lot of sense to me that as somebody who spent their lifetime doing creative work would be in the moment, in flow, in the present state, or thinking about their project or future projects that they would like to complete. And so those are sort of desirable future outcomes. And so it makes me think that artistic or creative work would probably be almost therapeutic for people who are stuck worrying about the past, or sorry, stuck ruminating on the past, or worrying about an undesirable future, an imagined undesirable future. Because it would take you into the present moment. The creative work would put you in the present moment, or imagining a possible desirable future outcome, a desirable creative endeavor that you've put together, or improved upon your existing creative project. So yeah, you'd move from negative past, negative future, to present and positive future, just by the nature of doing creative work in of itself. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what it got me thinking about anyway after watching the podcast. One of the other interesting things that popped up on the podcast, well, there's a lot. I'm actually going to go back and watch it again. The idea of the person being the antenna, that the creative ideas don't come from within, they're actually coming from the outside. So I've heard about other people, who meditate, and they get creative insights, people who do it through exercise, people who go for walks and do it. I think Winston Churchill had his famous walks. He used to come up with his best ideas walking. And I've also heard other people who meditate refer to it as a download, sort of getting. So I always thought of the idea of meditating, getting a download as some massive insight, but listening to Rick describe the creative process, I actually think it's more just like you get an incline, and sort of you follow that sort of intuitive little micro insight that you get, and then you build upon it, and you can get another one, you build upon that, and you get another one, and you're sort of tuning yourself to listen to that intuitive state a little better, and then act on it. And by acting on it, you sort of affirm its validity almost, and then that'll make you want to act on it again the next time you get a sort of intuitive state, because Rick Rubin also talked about it as a feeling, to know which direction to go sometimes, or if something is good or is not. It's like a gut feeling. He describes it, almost seems like intuition. He feels it in the body, not so much a thought necessarily. So yeah, I think there's probably something to that. And like I said, from a meditative perspective, I'm not sure it's just like a download and you get all the answers. I think it's like you get a feeling that it feels good to move that direction, and this isn't feeling good, so you move away from that direction. And the more you kind of do that, the more you trust your gut, so to speak, and that'll kind of lead you in the direction you want. Just like when you're doing a creative project, the more you kind of trust that instinct, that intuition, it'll lead you towards, piece by piece towards the end product that you want. You're not just going to sit down and come up with something amazing. It's sort of a step-by-step process. So yeah, that was interesting. And I think, yeah, that's really all I wanted to touch on today anyway. In closing, if you're struggling with your mental health, talk to somebody. I know firsthand that talking to somebody can be extremely difficult when you're struggling with your mental health. I put it off for years and years and years and years and years. Wish I hadn't, to be honest, but I did. Here I am now, so maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I wouldn't be here right now doing this video if I hadn't put it off for years and years and years. So there's the silver lining, I guess. But the reason I put it off is because it seemed like in my mind, I made it this giant thing. I didn't know what I was going to say. I had to plan everything out. This was actually the way I lived my life in general at the time, was I had to plan everything out. I had to know every single step constantly. It's like I said in meditation today, to just sit there and let what happens is a giant step for me. because I'd always have to plan everything out, and to talk to somebody about what I was experiencing with mental health, I'd have to plan out every word I was going to say and think about it and who I was going to talk to, and just overthink it, and imagine how it was going to fail, worst case scenario, catastrophize it all the way down to the end of my life, sort of thing. And the more I thought about it, the worse it got, and the less it made me want to actually take action and talk to somebody about what I was experiencing. So my advice would be to just take that leap and just do it. You don't have to know what you're going to say. Just start the conversation, and the rest of the words are going to come out. The conversation will unfold before you. I guess that's one of the sort of realizations I'm having more and more with meditation, is that control is kind of an illusion, and trying to plan everything out constantly is pointless, because you don't really know what's going to happen next anyway. So kind of just take the first step and let the dance unfold before you. I was using the metaphor a couple of videos ago about paddling in the boat, and it's like, cut the string, let the boat go, and just lie down on your back, look up at the sky, and enjoy the float down the river. And I think when it comes to talking to somebody about your mental health, it's like, don't try to plan it all out. Don't worry about all the upcoming rapids. Just cut the rope and see where that conversation takes you. And I'm not a genie, I can't predict the future, but I would venture a guess and say it is highly likely that after that conversation, you will be in a better place than where you were before you have the conversation about your mental health struggles. That's just my experience speaking, I guess. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Be good to yourself. And if you're ever talking to somebody else who's struggling with their mental health, be good to them too. Or just be good to everybody, I guess. Maybe I don't know, better way of approaching things. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.